No, I'm not removing it. I'm not
We're
removing it.
recording it. Oh, no, keep that there.
It's not different for thing. Right.
Right, so on this podcast, we'll be chatting about some of the biggest news from the gaming world, sharing our thoughts on a few recent releases, some of our favourite games, of course, as well, playing some segments, fun segments along the way. Before we dive into that, how's everybody?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm super excited. I'm
Super
sat here like a coiled spring, ready to get stuck in about this.
He's ready to bounce.
Honestly, mate, I'm ready to provide some controversial takes. Probably say some things that you won't like, but mate, we're all friends here, and like the famous TikTok trend going about, we listen and we don't judge. Oh, we definitely judging here.
We definitely judge, and we may not be friends after this. So
correct.
We'll that there and see what happens.
I'm doing good, mate. Me and Simon here are having a good wee time.
Absolutely
buzzing for this. It's kind of been what I've been looking forward to all day since I woke up at fucking stupid o'clock. But I'm happy to be here with a couple of good people, and so we'll see how this goes.
Good man, good.
And we'll see who can make Fletchy cry the quickest.
I don't know. I think even money's that'll be me, but we'll see how.
I'm a gambler, man. We'll see.
So with this being the first episode, I think it probably makes more sense for us to just go around very quickly and introduce ourselves and what we like and video games that we play, what video games mean to us. I'm obviously happy to go first on this one, so I will. So I think I would imagine our stories will be pretty similar, and that video games have been part of our lives for certainly as long as I can remember. My first real proper memory is having my mum bringing home massive box with Sega Mega Drive in it and Sonic the Hedgehog plastered all over the front of it. So at that point, I didn't know what Sonic was. I barely knew what a fucking hedgehog was. So you had no idea the journey you were about to embark on at that point. So, it's one of those with video games are brilliant because they adapt with the times. As technology gets better, video games get better. That's pretty much just the size of it. In terms of favourite games, Resident Evil franchise is probably the biggest one that's had the most impact on me. Final Fantasy as well, you would have to say, from the early ones all the way through to the current ones. I tend not to miss any of them. And Metal Gear Solid's probably another one I chuck in there just because of the amount of hours and the nostalgia that it brings you. Proper in terms of like genres, I would say JRPGs are probably my jam. I like vibrant colours. I like taking turns at randomly hitting enemies for 20 hit points. That's the way I like doing it, But no, I think for me, it's the grind with a JRPG is always a grind. There's always a level up system and there's always a getting stronger to face the final boss. And it's a genre that resonates with me, to be honest with you. In terms of what video games means to me, I was struggling a little bit with this one, but it is escapism. It's a case of not having any worries. You put the PlayStation on, whatever's going on in your life, whether it's stresses or strains of work or personal life or whatever, they tend to melt away for that time. So I think it's almost a form of therapy for me, to be honest, in the way that video games can kind of drag me in and not necessarily almost give me a break from the stresses and strains of how shit life can be sometimes.
Yeah, honestly,
for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those, isn't it? It's just, that is what it is. You I don't necessarily think you play video games to put yourself in the protagonist's shoes. I think it's more a case of make me disappear into this far off world and I'll go and save it or whatever the game is. So it's that kind of taking yourself away from reality which gives you that escapism. So that's pretty much it for me. Anybody else want to go? Somebody else can go if they want.
Let's see if you want that.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah,
Go
go.
for it, Fletch.
Oh, so yeah, I have early memories of like yourself, Nipper, the Sega Mega Drive, Sonic 2. With me being a little bit younger than you two, fine specimens over there. The first most prominent game for me was the first Grand Theft Auto on the PlayStation 1.
Yes.
Yeah, that top-down view. It was just it was just a whole different world.
I like it.
1999 came about, and that's when I was introduced to my first-person shooter, which was Medal of Honor. And that was just me being hooked straight on from that. You can tell I've done my research because I've got dates. 2005. 2005 was a major year for me. So I was introduced to my favorite game series, which is obviously Battlefield. Battlefield Modern Combat was a game on the PS2 that I played online. It was my first sort of introduction to online gaming. You had to buy an external modem for the PS2. If you wanted a headset, you had to buy the game SOCOM US Navy SEALs because it came with the only working headset on the PS2. Also, that was my first introduction to esports. So this was long before Twitch and YouTube gaming came about. A friend of mine from school, James, Nipper, you know of him, invited me to try out for an esports team that he was a part of. And that was just a whole different world. The team was called Hotshot Delta Force, worldwide recognized on Battlefield. Everyone knew us. They seen the clan tag. We got the messages of just butthurt. It was just carnage, mate. It was when you did clan wars online, or you had to travel to events to do LAN matches. Personally, from there, I became in the top 10 in the UK for all-time Battlefield players. As life moves on, the team did disband, but a few of us still moved through the next-gen consoles onto Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. Then the franchise just went down the tube. You went to Battlefield 1, Battlefield V, which was also 5. Then they even brought out a fucking game called Hardline, which was utter garbage.
That was pish.
Then you've got to where they're at now with 2042, where the game's just, because of Call of Duty, they just had to release an unfinished game, and that's just what EA does, and it's taken away the major sort of player base, fan base is just in that sort of position where we're just stagnant. We're just wanting something better. And Call of Duty just didn't scratch that itch for us because it's Battlefield for kids. Call of Duty, is it? It's not there. So, like I said, as life moves on, I've had to also make a shift from competitive gaming to casual gaming, with family life and just getting to play if and when I can, So that's where I'm at now, boys.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Fair enough, mate. It's a fucking hell of an experience you've had so far, Fletchy.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Genuinely impressive, man. Very impressive.
Top 10 in the UK was, mate, that was like 13, 14 hours a day, constant grinding.
Yeah.
It's good though. Fucking impressed with you.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed.
Good stuff, mate. Right, Flump, you're up.
Right, here comes the old bastard.
Yeah.
I've been playing games for well over 30 years at this point, and the one memory that sticks in my head for me has been when I was, I don't know, like 5 or 6 maybe. I was playing Batman Returns on the Master System.
Oh yes.
And I remember my mum walking out the room and she's like, "Stephen, what you doing?" I'm like, "I'm playing Batman, Mum. Let me show you my skills." Proceeded to fuck up the entire level. But she couldn't have been any happier. And it's just that for there on in, it's just been a case of I've just been engrossed me video games my entire life. So maybe 5 or 6, and then I moved up to moved up from the Master System to the Mega Drive, then up to the Nintendo 64, which to be honest with you, I think is one of the best consoles ever created. I might be biased, but fuck you.
Hard to disagree.
Because your games like your Mario's, your Mario Karts, your obviously your WWE and all that, your GoldenEye, but you had like wee gems like Pilot Wings, which was just it was just you threw it on a couple of hours just being stupid stuff. Then you had the Lilac Wars or Star Fox 64 as the Yanks would call it. Dude,
Yes.
that game still makes me happy just to watch. It is just makes me sad. Then you had like other ones like I remember going to one of my friends after school. We had a 64, and we just played Turok for like 3 hours straight. Like just he'd get a bit, I'd get a bit, and then I'd bugger off him. Be like, Mum, can I get Turok? I've not got the money. Fuck. And then that's like then Christmas came around and I ended up getting it. And then I moved into sort of your PlayStation 2s, sorry, your PS1, your PS2, then your Xbox sort of, and then it was Call of Duty, your Halos. And I know that's quite a big jump, but let's be honest, it's what it is. So, got up to Call of Duty, even Medal of Honor, like yourself, mate, Medal of Honor Frontline.
Mm-hmm.
Easily one of the best opening missions of any game.
100%.
I shit myself every time I played it. So obviously you moved up, and then you've got the Halos and the Call of Duty. Call of Duty Big Red 1 was my first one, all the way up to the current iteration, which I'm still shit at. That has not changed the entire way. I suck then, I suck now. And then alongside that, your FIFAs, which was I played that honestly on a regular basis. Clubs, Ultimate Team, even just before Ultimate Team and everything else. Now you got your WWE games. I'm a wrestling fan. If you don't like it, suck my nut. Exactly. Nah. And then so I've been playing all them. Some of them were just again coming home from school. We're just going to a friend's house, putting like Raw v SmackDown on, spending 2, 3, 4 hours, just loving life. Going home, your mum's asking you, "Where have you been?" I was at Dave's house or James's house or Simon's house, and she's like, "Cool, no bother." She knew where I was. She was all happy. And then so this sticks in my mind because this was kind of stupid but kind of funny. So when Halo 3 first came out, I didn't have an Xbox, so they always were up to my uncles to play it. I never had an Xbox for Halo 3, but I got the game midnight release. My friend had bought me it. I didn't get paid till the following week, which is when I bought my first Xbox. Which is also when then I bought my first proper big boy telly for like my first job. But I was 18. I was like 18 at this point. That's a hell of a long time ago. So like I'd had tellies and everything beforehand that my mom maybe go for the catalogue or second hand, but it was the first time that with my big boy pie, I went and got something that was like my own telly, my own console. It was like I felt good. She still paid the electricity, so it was always good. And then moving on to sort of maybe newer times, so past decade, it's been Destiny. The Destiny franchise has been the front and center of what I'm playing. From day one to now, I just love it. It has gone through some ups and downs, some good times, some shit times, and everything. But there's nothing else that comes close to just itching that gameplay, gunplay, just the feeling of just how do I put it, like just kiddie joy again.
Yeah,
that's the only way I can put it. Is that when it's good, but when it's shit, it's still relatively good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny's a great shout, like, because I mean, we've all played it. We've all sunk loads and loads of time into it. Too much time than is considered healthy, probably, if we're honest.
Oh, very much so.
It's probably my most uninstalled and installed game. I've got to be fair.
Yeah,
Honestly,
100%.
it's a fact. It's a factual statement. I mean, that's it.
We'll just keep going back, eh?
Aye,
Yeah.
it's like a bad relationship. You want to get rid of it, but you
Just
want
keep going back. You can't help
Yep.
yourself. Just keep going
exactly.
back.
And then sort of, as you were saying at the start, Nipper, video games means for yourself also it's for a bit of escapism. It's a bit of a therapy, and I wholly agree with that. Because it's like I'll come home from work, or even if I'm like day off. See if I'm just feeling really shitty. That's just like if you're just really doing and there's nothing, you throw a game on. Next thing you know, 3-4 hours have passed, and you're good.
Yeah.
This is quite funny. So when you take Destiny for example, there's 2 places in that entire game that, see if I just want to sit back and just let my mind like go in the same place. There's 2 places I'll just go to in the game, just sit there and just think.
Just watch
And
it.
just watch. And there's nothing going on, but it's sort of peaceful.
Yeah.
Just sort of brings everything down a bit, keeps you just wee bit level, and that's pretty good for that for me, lad. And it's more than just that. It's like, to me, a video game you could consider it equal to, say somebody's got like a really good book, or they've got a really good TV series or film or whatever. They get that into it that it doesn't matter. It's like, for me, that's video games. If I get into a video game and it grips me, there's nothing better, lad. And it's
100%.
been rare recently that's happened, but it's happened with a couple of games, and it's been beautiful. But that's it. That's for young Flumpy to old Flumpy. That's pretty much it, man.
The story of Flump. I enjoyed that, man.
Yeah.
That was good.
good.
I enjoyed that.
You're
right, though. I mean, it's video games. It's a weird kind of niche, because it's, video games aren't for everybody. Some people don't understand it. Some people don't get it. People look at it as a waste of time. But when you find a game that, as you say, draws you in, and your brain can just shut off and just disappear into this world, whether it's zombies, whether it's monsters, whether it's humans shooting down other armies, or whatever it is. It's just the ability to bring you from your stress levels being all the way up here for whatever reason, to just bring you down and just take that edge off and just even you out a little bit. Is,
I agree,
for me,
I agree.
it's therapy. That is what therapy is. And
100%.
if you can find something that quiets your brain for every now and again, then for me that's worth its weight in gold, regardless of whether people agree with it or not.
Fully agree with you, mate. Fully agree.
Definitely. Right, on that topic of games, obviously, which will be on quite a lot. I suppose the first segment I kind of want to talk about is current gaming. What are we playing currently? What formats are we playing? What consoles are we playing? What games are we playing? So again, open the floor up to you guys. Any one of you can pick this one up.
I'll take the lead on this one, lad. Since I made Fletcher do it last time, it's only fair. So the minute, also, as I said, Destiny is pretty much front and foremost. Specifically a PC player because I have no console anymore because it decided to kick the bucket. The cheap bastard that is. So obviously Destiny takes up most of my day. There's a new season that started, and I'm currently just enjoying the hell out of that. It's just great. But alongside that, I'm also playing bits of FIFA here and there. Not as much. It's always nice to just jump in, get abused for a few games, and then jump off. I've just started Avowed on your recommendation, Nipper, and I'm enjoying it. It's I'm not sure. I've no real thoughts on it, so I've only put a couple of in it. So there's no real thoughts yet, but I'm enjoying it so far.
Stick with it because it's very good.
Oh, up on Dente. I no long finished Dragon Age Veilguard. Now I seen on the discourse about it. I seen the bullshit, the hatred, the love for it. You know what? I done for the time I started it, the time I finished it. I enjoyed my journey. That's it. It was just that there wasn't any sort of. I didn't see any issues other than maybe. As one specific character that pissed me off just because she's. Oh, yeah, fucking vampire. I can't be arsed with that bitch. Twilight motherfucker. But, like, other than that, it's from start to finish. I enjoyed the game. I felt it was a decent story, very good combat. That's me. I didn't take many things too seriously that other people say because I'd rather form my own opinion whether I'm playing it or not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think with the Veilguard thing, me and you have spoken about this privately as well. The Veilguard thing was, I was disappointed personally, but I was disappointed because of how high I hold the other games.
And that's the thing. I haven't played the other games, so I didn't have an opinion or a standard of it. So for me coming in of essentially a new Dragon Age player, if you want to say it, I thought it was fine. I enjoyed it. It was like I've seen Inquisition and I've seen Origins, and they do seem a lot different to what Veilguard was.
Yep.
But for me, that was the playing my mind. That was the right. This is different for this. This is different for this. It's just like started it, I finished it, enjoyed it. I sank about 80 hours into it, completed as everything that I could in the game. Enjoyed it.
I mean, the player's enjoyment is really all that matters. That they can get the lowest score in the world, and critically, but if the player enjoys it, then really who gives a fuck?
Oh, exactly.
I think it's very
I would say is the combat in Veilguard is exceptional.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
very good. So smooth, so easy to pick up, and just before you know it, you're firing off abilities right, left, and center, and causing all sorts of mayhem.
You're not even realizing it. It's really, really intuitive. But other than that, the last sort of thing that's really picking me up is I like to play Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077. I see that, Fletchy. We'll but no, I'm currently on my third playthrough of this, and we didn't have enough time for my thoughts in this game yet. We do not have enough time.
It's exceptional.
But that's me. That's what I'm playing at the minute.
Super.
So Fletchy.
Oh, what am I playing? I know I've sort of shot it into the ground already. I'm still slugging away with trying my best to enjoy Battlefield 2042. It's like I say, it's a bit like what you were saying there with that game there, like how high you hold other games in regard. It's just a major disappointment.
Yeah.
But I knew it was going to be, but like what Flump has just said, like I want to get my own opinion on a game, and because I love the series so much, I'm going to try to support it through the good times and the bad times. So that's what I'm still playing that. I've started playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Really enjoying that. I've played all the other ones, but just I seen that on the game streaming on the PlayStation, so I've started playing that, and I've probably lost a few days just playing that. Be it at work on the Portal, which probably shouldn't be doing, but here we are.
You do what you do.
And just like yourself, Lump, FC25, just it's a game you can just jump in, jump out,
Exactly.
Play it, switch your console to appear offline and just sit there and just chill.
Basically, aye.
There's probably a question about FC25 that I want to ask you guys, because I've never been heavy into football games, which is weird given how much I like football. But is there a huge shift from when they stopped the FIFA games to the FC game? Because is this the first one, FC25?
Second one.
Right, so there's FC24.
Yeah,
yeah.
only.
Okay. So what like are the what is it different? Is it the same game with a new name or?
On you go, Fletchy.
From when the last FIFA to where it is now, there has been a change in the way the game plays. I wouldn't lie to you. You're probably still going to fall into the same trap that everyone does every year and buys it, and it's fairly samey with just up to date squads. But I would say the gameplay is a lot better. The modes, like the career mode, and that has been updated and overhauled, which I would say is a good sign. But mate, I'll be honest, it's like Call of Duty. You're just going to fall into the same trap every year.
I agree with you, Fletchy. It's kind of. As you say, they've sort of improved the sort of career mode, the sort of single player modes, if you want to call it that, the manager mode, the career mode. Gameplay wise, it's always going to be samey, but there are sort of improvements to it. And even through the game's yearly life cycle, it'll change here and there. But simply put, it's FIFA with a different name, just with a new coat of paint and an extra couple of mods, which, as you say, you'll fall into the same trap. But again, every time you fall into it, you enjoy yourself. And the good thing with this year is this is kind of funny. So they've got a new mode called Rush. Just like it's 4v4.
Yeah.
Right. To anyone else, it's just it's a new mode. It's not going to be any fun. It's a really fun mode, like for FIFA, really fun. And it's just if they did more things like that, like just like an extra another mode here, just wee bit extras, be really good. But for what it is, it's FIFA, a coat of paint, and an extension build on it, really.
Yep.
Yeah, simply. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there's lots of franchises that is their tagline. It's it's essentially the same game but slightly better, and it works. I mean, Call of Duty's been doing it for years. And the FIFA games have done it for years. So I was just curious with the changeover if it actually affected it or if it was just basically the same.
And just to add to another game that I've been playing with, I think we've all been playing it, is Ghost Recon Wildlands. I think we've all went back into that.
Yes.
So I've played actually Breakpoint as well. I've played both of the most modern ones. That was just I really enjoyed them. To be fair, I really enjoyed both of them. Wildlands was much more funner than Breakpoint. Breakpoint was a bit more serious. Yeah. Relied on you to be a bit more serious with the game. Wildlands was just pure banter.
Yeah, it was good.
I'd say Breakpoint added a raid into it, which was really, really intense and really, really good. So if you've not done it and you've got the game, honestly, try it. It's good. Yeah.
I've actually not, to be fair. I think I played about the first maybe 4 or 5 minutes of Breakpoint and ended up giving up. But Wildlands is just brilliant.
It's just pure banter.
Do you know what I like about Wildlands? I didn't mean to overtake your point, but what I like about Wildlands is the things they've added in. So I don't know if you've seen these, but they've got they've got certain missions that they've added in. So there's I was watching one that was like the Predator. You need to hunt the Predator down and kill him. And there was other ones that involve characters from Rainbow Six, obviously other games within the franchise. And I love that. I love when developers don't give up on a game and think, fuck it, add that bit in, because any game where you have to go and hunt the Predator for people of a certain age that have watched the films, that's gold. You're onto something there.
That is the most difficult mission I've ever done on a game in my life.
Is it really?
It is so hard because you cannot see the fucker.
But did you enjoy it?
Oh man, I really enjoyed it. It took about 25 attempts.
Fuck it. Honestly, that's one of the marks of a good mission, a good bit of content. You want to keep going back at it.
Couldn't see him.
Mate, look at these. Me and Nippers both got spikes.
Who couldn't see him at the best of times, let alone when he's fucking invisible?
Yeah, so I think that's me, mate. So I think we'll hand you over to Nipper, mate. What are you playing just now, mate?
Super. Yeah, I mean, mine's is a bit of a mixed bag because I tend to have about 3 or 4 games on the go at once because my brain just doesn't allow me to sit on one. So I would say the main one that's taking up the most of my time at the minute's Monster Hunter Wilds, which has just been out a couple of weeks. It's a sensational game. If any of you have played any of the Monster Hunter games before, that you'll know it's just they seem to get better every. It's like it's almost the opposite of Battlefield, like you were saying. In fact, they seem to get better every game. They've got a recipe for what makes a good game, and they just keep polishing it and making it better. The thing I like about Monster Hunter Wilds and most Monster Hunter games is every enemy you fight it's like a 20-minute, 25-minute slog. Like there's no one-shot enemies. You can't build yourself up to be like way stronger and take out enemies with a few swings of your sword or your bow or whatever it is you're using. It's a 20-minute slog against an enemy that can wipe you out like within seconds. So I suppose almost like the strategic element of it as well, because they use elements, they use sort of fire and lightning and water, and all of those things mix and are opposed and do more damage or less damage depending on the armor you're wearing. So I've been sucked properly into that because it's sensational. It's so good. I've also I don't know if you guys do this, but the last few years, and I would say it is the last few years, maybe 3. I would go as maybe the last 5 years, possibly. I seem to be doing this thing where I play the same games over and over again. So
I agree.
So, like for example, the other night I started a playthrough of Final Fantasy VIII. The game's like 25 years old. Like, I don't know why. I just flicked the PlayStation on and I just started, and I was away for 4 or 5 hours, and that was me. But I've kind of noticed a wee pattern. I've been doing this for like a handful of years, where I'll take one of the, and it does seem to be Final Fantasy mostly, and I'll take the games and I'll play through them every year. Like every year at Christmas, I play through Final Fantasy X. I don't know why. I have no reason for it. I know that when I'm off work over the Christmas period, I play Final Fantasy X, and by the time I go back to work, I'm usually finished that. So I've got 2 or 3 games in the kind of my library at the moment. But my problem's the backlog. It's you see a game and you think, yes, I'll have some of that, and it goes into the backlog, never to be fucking seen ever again. And it's like and then you get bored and you fire up your PlayStation. You think, yeah, here we go, right? I'm going to find one of the games in the backlog that I'm going to play. I'm going to sit and I'm going to play it. And then you chuck a game that you've completed 7-8 times already on, and
you're hooked again.
It's that, or it's I try and perfect the speedrun on Resident Evil 2, or something that I've done hundreds of times previously, but just because it's comfortable and I know it and I know what I'm getting from it, so that's just the way you fall in. But that's pretty much between that and a bit of Wildlands. I picked up Wildlands because it was on Game Pass, and I enjoyed that. Obviously, the first couple of times I played through, so those are probably the main games at the minute. So
nice.
Yeah, keep myself busy.
That sounds good.
Yeah, so I think we'll nip on. We'll move on a bit, and we'll go into. Now this is the bit where you've all had a bit of homework to do here. So we're calling this segment the Chronicles Hidden Treasures. So in this segment, essentially, the 3 of us will bring a game to the other's attention and to anybody else's attention. That the tagline is that these are games that everybody should play at least once. They should always be in your completed section.
Sorry.
At least once. That's all right, mate. Sorry, we're keeping you up.
Oh, man, no. Sorry,
Too
no,
much
sorry.
gaming, mate. Too much
I'll wait.
gaming.
I'll
He's
wait.
resetting his memory.
I'll wait till I'll wait till you've done your reintroduction, Nipper, and then I'll go off on a wee tangent.
So again, I'll open it up to you. Flumpy, you want to go first on this one? You want to
Aye, it's fair to
introduce
go
your
first
game?
this one. Not,
Go for it. What you got?
First off, mate, this is my wee tangent before we start. Mate, I had a nap earlier on after work. I woke up, I didn't remember my own goddamn name. I'm not kidding you. I swear to God. It was like a solid, I think it was 3.5 hours. I woke up. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know my name. I didn't know a goddamn thing. It took me a solid 5 minutes just to figure out what the hell I was.
So what you're saying is the fact that you're here and you're semi-coherent is a fucking miracle.
Oh.
And that's at the best of fucking times. But no, I must have yelling because it's just I'm still trying to come to terms with what the fuck I'm doing. I was honestly, I needed it. To be fair, it was a great shift at work. That terrifies the shit out of me because if it's a good shift at work, something else is going to go tits up.
Yeah.
Turns out it was me not realizing what the hell was going on in life. but anyway, we're back to so backlog choice. You say to us privately, can I grab a game? Kind of your backlog and kind of what everybody should experience. I kind of went for 3. Is that all right?
Yes.
You make the rules, mate. You make the rules.
Right. So first one is plain and simple. That's called The Outer Worlds. It is by the same folk who made New Vegas, and I caught this on Game Pass when it first came out, and I have never been so happy. Like, just genuinely just gripped by something because I love New Vegas. New Vegas is easily the best Fallout game that I played.
Yep.
And when I found out that Obsidian had made their own game, I grabbed that and I loved it. I think 40, 50 hours into it in the first playthrough. Second playthrough was the same. Funny enough, it was the exact same playthrough both times, but that's neither here nor there. Doesn't matter. So that grips me because the stories. It's not going to win any writing awards, but it gripped me. So it's like, yeah, this as your usual. It's like you're just this lone stranger landing on a planet, and you're off a ship, all that, and you go on your wee adventure and find out that corporations essentially like run fucking the universe, for lack of a better phrase. Everybody's locked into essentially like slavery, but you get paid for it a little bit. So it's like working at my work, essentially. And it's just that was one of the games where it grabbed me, and I just loved it from start to finish. It's just incredible. And then I seen not too long ago they're making a second one, which will be out soon. I was squealing like a child, mate. It was really good. So for the first choice, backlog, if you have it, it's usually quite cheap on Epic Game Stores. It's the Outer Worlds, usually Spaceless Choice Edition. It's just fantastic. It's got 2 cracking DLCs. They're just so much fun, and it will genuinely be a lot of fun, and you'll have a good time playing. Good time playing it if you get the chance.
Tremendous, great show.
For the next 2, it's a game and its sequel. It's a little bit older. It's called The Darkness 1, and it was a PlayStation 3 game. I think, was it PlayStation 3? Yes, I'm sure it was. It was PlayStation game. So that was out a while ago. I think it's 2011. I forgot to check the date on it, but it basically stars. It's a dude called Jackie Estacado. He basically gets popped in the head, and then an entity, if you want to call it, called the Darkness takes him over, and he wakes up. He's got all these powers, sort of these like tendrils and like wee shit he can fire out, but it can only be used in the dark if he's hit by any sort of light source. It's like kryptonite essentially.
Okay.
And it was just like it's a really dark, it's quite like a dark, quite a serious, more tone to the game. And combat was good because you had, like I say, you had your pistols. You could use hands, but you also had like I think it was like two tendrils for the side of you that you could like fire them out and hit enemies. And to like power that up and level that up, you had to eat the enemy's hearts. So like for any dead bodies you'd find, you go around, you'd interact with it, and eat the heart, and then that would kind of heal you as well, eh?
Nice.
And then its sequel again, Darkness 2 it's just more of that, but it's just I found Day 2 to be really, really entertaining games when I was younger. So that's for Flumpy's backlog choice: The Outer Worlds, Darkness 1, Darkness 2.
Awesome, mate.
Super,
Awesome.
mate. No, good choices. I like that, mate. I like that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So Nipper,
Fletch, you want to go next?
Hell no. Hell no. Nipper, it's you.
No, you want me to go, right? Okay, I'll go.
Fletchy's not being last yet. We'll be nice.
Oh, no, that's fine, mate. Absolutely.
About time I come last.
Hey, but makes it change. But yeah, so for my game, I've chosen Stray, which is it's an indie game. I think it won at the Game Awards. It won Indie Game of the Year, I think, in 2023. It's either 22 or 23. I can't remember. So it's either 2 or 3 year old. Unsurprisingly, it follows a stray cat. And it's weird because the premise of the game is you follow a cat, or you are the cat, you control the cat, and it doesn't sound much. But I think where they kind of landed on something unbelievable is the worlds that they created. So it's almost like a futuristic dystopia, I suppose would be the way I would describe it. Almost kind of overlayered with sort of neon cyberpunkish kind of vibes. So there are no humans. It's all robots. There's it kind of alludes to it, but there's some sort of catastrophic event that's happened that's wiped out the majority of life. And at the very start of the game, you are the stray, and you're separated from your family of cats. It plays like a platformer. There's a lot of puzzles, a lot of jumping puzzles, which the pair of yous know does not go too well for me normally.
How are you enjoying that?
But I think the gameplay kind of carried me a little bit there, to be fair. So my reason for choosing it is it can be completed in like 5 to 7 hours. It is a one sitting game. You could comfortably go end to end on it in one sitting. You could also not, like, you know, in terms of 100% in it, if you're that sort of gamer, it can take you 12 to 15 hours. But I just, you know, it was one of those games where there's very little dialogue. So a lot of the dialogue's inferred by body language and by beeps and noises and robot language and all the rest of it. So I like that because it's almost open to interpretation. So whatever you think is being said is what's being said. And it allows different experiences. So different people play it, they'll get different things out of it, whether it's the characters or the actual story or the cat itself, because it's just nice. It's just a nice game that's nice and easy to play. There's nothing. You use a handful of buttons. It's not difficult. It's jump in, and it's, you know, there is sort of danger elements in the game at certain points, but the vast majority of it is exploring and jumping about and solving puzzles.
Nice.
And it's just nice. And I think if you've not played it, I think your gaming life would be better for having played it. So that's pretty much my choice for this week.
That's a hell of a statement, that.
I think I'll be adding that to the library, mate. 100%.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And like I say, it's just easy. It's not hard. There's no convoluted story to get involved in. It's just very, very simple.
Nice. I like simple. Simple is good for me.
Right, Fletchy boy, bring us home. What have you got for
I
us?
will bring us home, but before I also start this, I've got a nice announcement to make after, which I've also shared to you guys in the Discord, so we'll get that out there after this segment. I've actually been really buzzing about this, to be fair, because it's a weird one for me because it's not what you would expect, because it's an MMO.
Oh,
and it's free to play as well. So it's a game called Crossout. In this game, it's a PvP, so it's purely deathmatchy, objective based, but you have to build a war machine. So you get parts, you get weapons, you can build anything you want, be as creative as you want. You can have wheels, you can have tracks, you can have make it hover. You've got all this to your, it's very much up to you what you build. It's mad, and it's quite fun because you could make something utterly ridiculous that doesn't work. You just get one shotted, but it looks cool. Then you can just totally build something that just looks massive, and no, honestly, it's a super fun game. So, as I say, it's free to play as well. So there's no risk, but a lot of reward in that game. So I would definitely recommend Crossout.
I like it.
Cracking,
I could have taken 100 guesses, Fletch, and an MMO would not have been what I would have said was the way to come out of your mouth.
I know, I've not even been controversial.
That's an impressive one. Impressive.
It's very impressive for me, guys, because you know how I feel about your nice RPG games and all that.
Yeah.
It's just, they're not for me. I have a whole lot of respect for them. I'd rather sit here and watch you guys play them, but ask me to play them, you can go fuck yourselves.
Fair.
I know from the time I tried to take you through Final Fantasy 14.
Oh,
that time,
God,
Jesus
man.
Christ, that just
I think I still have PTSD about that. No, sorry. I've still got borderline PTSD from Final Fantasy 14. Right.
No, listen, that brilliant. I love that, and at least it gives. I like it because there's games in there that me like I'd never even heard the Crossout. I'll be honest with you. So
no, I hadn't.
I'll be looking up and having a look at, and that's what I like about this, because as much as we've all played a good crossover of games, pun intended, we've not. There are gaps there are games that I play that neither of you two will play, and all the way around the table for that.
Of course, yeah.
It gives a different, I like different perspectives, and I like different takes on different games. So
exactly, it's like what suits maybe you two only suit me, and also what suits me, you Nipper, does this suit Fletchy.
100%.
But that's a good thing, eh?
That's it, and it takes all sorts to fill the world, so it's the same with the gaming world. So
correct.
Fletcher, you were saying that we've got a wee bit of an announcement that
this is breaking news.
We're announcing shit.
First episode, and we are starting off big time, boys. I have managed to secure a wee sponsorship deal with for us. Basically, yeah. So we are going to be sponsored by Hardcore Inc. Apparel Co. It is a Scottish streetwear and sportswear brand that cares about your mental health, cares about the climate, cares about the environment, the design, everything from start to finish. And yeah, they're a good brand, do a lot of community outreach. Big things to come from collaborations that they're going to be doing. So definitely check out the websites. The links will be posted when we also get this episode out there. So there we go, boys. We have got a sponsor.
Absolutely. Tremendous. No, that's great. And as you say, it's the importance of having a brand that stands for something. It's not just a clothing label. You know, they put things into mental health, and they put things into climate, and these things are important as much as they can be boring topics sometimes. But I think, especially on the mental health side of things, I think the more everybody talks about it, the easier it gets to talk about.
Honestly, there was one initiative after they ran that, like, for every T-shirt planted, a tree got planted in the rainforest. So,
that's incredible.
Like I say, a brand that cares about the world that we live in, and trying to just do things the right way rather than mass producing. It's excellent. And it's good. It's good that they've chose us. It's good. We can get a working relationship where they will promote us and we'll promote them. Which so it's good.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Happily, mate. Happily.
Really.
Happily.
But I suppose we've kind of got to that time. We've covered everything that we want to cover. I suppose it's a last thoughts. Anybody got anything they want to chuck at us, or any controversial moments they want to put forward just before we end? Or
no, I'll save it.
He's bottled it. He's keeping it.
He shot it.
I could literally come here and say that Cyberpunk is the worst game ever made.
You say that to my fucking face, you son bitch.
Cyberpunk is the worst game ever made.
That's your opinion, and you're allowed it.
That's your opinion, and it's wrong.
It's kind of awful. It's awful coming from me because I bashed Battlefield for releasing an unfinished game, and that's the reason Cyberpunk has a sour taste in my mouth, because when I played it was. I've not played it pre-fixes, mate.
Oh, Fletcher, I fully agree. It was a fucking dog shit.
It's a mess.
Absolute cretinous piece of shit. But I will say this, Fletcher, it is very quickly became one of the best games I have played in my shitty little life.
First impressions count, no, man.
This is true, but I gave it a second chance because I'd forgotten entirely about it. It was that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I literally forgot the game even existed. So when they kept updating it, fixing it, I played it and enjoyed it. But thing is, Fletchy, that if that's your opinion, you're allowed it. It's not wrong. It's not right. That's your opinion. You're allowed it. Am I going to come to your house, shit your kettle, and make you a cup of coffee? Yes, but that's my opinion, and I'm allowed that as well.
That is life, mate. That's life.
I mean, the one thing I would say about Cyberpunk is that it's probably one of the greatest comebacks in terms of the mess that it was in when it was released to the actual polished product they did when they patched everything. In terms of the sheer difference in scale from one to the other is quite staggering, and we're probably never going to be able to convince you to play it, Fletcher.
That's it, mate.
You care what? That's fine. We can convince him. He doesn't have to play it. But
recommend
that. That doesn't mean it can hold that crown for best comeback. But I'll tell you, boys, Battlefield 6 is on the way. That is going to be the big comeback for us.
You better fucking hope so. I hope so. I genuinely hope it is for you, Fletchy. Because
from what I've seen in the alpha testing, it is going to be the big comeback.
It's going to look good.
I
hope they capture some of the magic of the early titles.
Well, mate, the destruction's back. The field destruction's back. We're back to modern warfare. It's so good. It's going to be good.
Good.
Pumped.
I'm happy for you.
Right. I think on that note, we'll finish up for this week. So, listen, thank you very much, guys, for being here and talking shite for an hour.
It's been a pleasure.
Honestly, it's been a very cracking introduction, I must admit.
It's been very good fun. So, yes. So, thank you very much, and obviously, thank you to everybody who's watched and listened and engaged with it in any way, shape, or form. We're quite passionate about this project. We've discussed it multiple times in private that we're keen on making something that's good, but it doesn't take itself too seriously at the same time. I think that's probably where we land. in
As
terms
people.
of reach. So.
And as people, to be honest with you.
And as people, it's fucking spot on.
To be brutally honest with you.
And as
You
people.
That's probably that's going to work because I've seen too many places that they take it too seriously. They're too uptight and up their arse, whereas us, it's just, for lack of a better phrase, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just three idiots having a cracking conversation.
100%, mate.
If people want to join in that conversation, they absolutely can. If they don't,
and Simon,
it's also fine. Like it's it's one of these things. So no, brilliant. Listen, we'll end on that note, and thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
See yous.
Bye.
See you.